sugar boo. I'm levitating. The Milky Way. We're renovating. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I got you, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
I think going into stage 3, we're definitely a more well-rounded team. I think Tommy brings in sort of an X factor, a little bit more experience that we were kind of lacking with QrTz. By no means was QrTz a bad player. I just think it was an inexperienced thing that Tommy can kind of help lead the team a little bit more than QrTz could. So overall, I think we're in a better spot, obviously, for the first 2 play days.
We picked Tommy up for his gun scaling experience and a little bit because of his shot calling, not necessarily fully for him to come in IGL. Nix has done great for us, and we definitely don't plan to replace his IGLing with Tommy's. It's more of just bringing him on for everything else he has to offer.
For stage 3, right now we're focused on getting back to that position where we were on stage 1. Obviously I say we, but you know, now I am we. We are going to start to develop those moments that we had on stage 1, but it's going to take a little bit of time, but we're here for the process, and hopefully the fans can be alongside of us as well.
We have to ask about the 2 newest players to these teams. Tomas and Skies both make their return to the NAL today, but which will make their mark?
It's now just Tomas and Dream. This setup on the new site clearly is not the play for Mirage. It has been swiftly and easily countered by Space Station. Tomas trying to challenge from the bar, and he's got a lot of work ahead of him to make this one work out.
Tomas will continue to maneuver over, and his head being spotted. That's an easy kill for Fultz. Picks up his 2nd kill to break the fact that he hadn't found one yet. And how about that? A flawless round from Space Station. Rampy watching the narrow opening, and he takes down Dream, looking for another. The body continues to fall, and a Nitro Cell could be their undoing. They're going to swing wildly, and SSG are cleaning up. Tomas takes one down, but Rampy buries him, and with him goes the rest of the match. SSG 7-3 over Mirage.
For me, the biggest thing too was, I think somebody already said it, but we had so many like opening advantages, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe we gotta like hone in on why exactly we were like, or how exactly we were giving that up, I guess. Like, it just comes back to like a thing where it's like, we're getting the opening pick, and I think this happened last stage too. We're getting opening pick, but we're like kind of throwing it away somewhere in the mid round.
I think Mitch just kind of hit it nail on the head. I think a lot of it was just gunfights. I think on executes, I think we were just losing the important fights, and we weren't killing the guys we needed to kill.
I cost a couple defensive rounds, but I was getting traded by Nick, so he was doing a good job trading me. Like the one round where he got the opening pick on Rampy, and then when I went Swamp, I got to Zofia. He traded Zofia as well.
Like we were like in such a good spot to win that round, and then like I think I just kind of made a mistake. I shouldn't have picked the red guy, and then yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, I think that was the same round. Like I cleared the stock shield.
Yeah.
And then I went to the plat and I literally popped my head up and just got my head blown off.
It's like you guys told me. Like I'm here to like let me use my utility and be like that lurking frag roll, which I should be on that site either way, because I push in main and kill the guy's Swamp.
I feel like I almost like overestimated or maybe overvalued the level of experience that specifically Benji and Loading would have. But that's not necessarily to take away from them. They're just more so role players, and we wanted to get a guy in that could basically be another leadership figure on the team.
Tomas was only 5 ranks higher than Fox A, by the way, at 0.87. Michael, he went 6 and 9. But as we've talked about with many teams, these are not the 2 players who you are going to be living and dying off of having a good performance of. In fact, the biggest culprit for Mirage was Benji, who was their best performer last stage and has consistently been one of the best performers. Well, unfortunately for him, he had the worst day in the entire NAL yesterday, finishing with only 3 kills, 9 deaths, and the lowest rating by a large margin. If Benji shows up today, whether Tomas does or does not, if Benji shows up today, That could make a huge difference.
As yes, firm control for Mirage in mining, and yet again, the plant is going down. Laxing will get loading, so there's one favor for the defenders, but it doesn't matter as we are once again in a post plant. And Tomas eliminating Kino inside of Dining makes this much, much more difficult. As the man count evens out, there's only 35 seconds for these defenders to retake into their own site. And it's definitely proving difficult as Dream is holding things down. A third kill for Dream, as he just cannot be beaten right now. So with only 15 seconds, 3 bodies to find, it's not gonna happen. What a round for Mirage, and what a gross oversight for the second time in a round for Oxygen.
Once again, not a beginning that Mirage wants. You take a timeout and you lose Tomas, who said that he needed to have a better game today. There were no excuses. Well, statistically, he's having a worse game, if I remember correctly, and now his smoke being down is not ideal. Nyx will join him in the grave as Laxing punishes one other player of Mirage, but I don't know if Dream is aware of the position. He'll walk in, air jab hits him yet again, and instead of taking that engagement, Foxay repositions, doing really well, and there it is! The OXG cleanup! Boy, oh boy, that one was mighty close, but was there really any doubt in the dying seconds of that round? 7-5 as OXG stays in first place.
I will say Mirage, I mean, definitely exceeded my expectations. I thought this was going to be a rough game for them, but 5 rounds, and they looked solid, especially throughout that first half. So, I mean, hats off to them. It's not a win. One more would have at least gotten them a point through OT, but unfortunately, it is what it is.
Our communication right now is just, that alone is leading to individual errors, like a significant amount. Like, people feel the need to make plays, whatever, they probably don't need to, because the communication is just really, really hectic. And once again, it just feels like overall, like, there's almost like action that's needed to be had when like there just like isn't like anything going on. And because of that, like this team is like caught basically just like sitting here thinking of what their execution should be before they actually do it. And then we're making plays like off of that, and they're just like, oh, like what are they doing? Like they're just killing us before they even are thinking of what they're gonna do. So yeah, I don't know. Too many individual errors for the past 2 play days, obviously. I don't know.
Here's the first question.
Hey there, Mirage, it's Jesse from the NAL, and as we start stage 3, I wanted to pick your brains a little bit and ask you some questions heading into our final stage. Now, I'm not going to start off you with an easy one. Last stage was a rough one for you guys. In stage 1, you managed to finish 3rd place, but in stage 2, you fell down to 7th. Do you feel that you as a team regressed during that time period, or do you think it was just a matter of the competition getting better? Furthermore, do you feel that right now you're a better rendition of your roster than you were back in stage 1, or is there still some work to do to get back up to that level?
Still think that we have some work to do going into this stage. We're definitely not where we were in stage 1. We definitely, over the course of stage 2, regressed a little bit in some of our better habits. But I think going into this next stage, we definitely are improving, and we're just trying to be 1% better every day. So as long as we can stick to that goal, I think we'll be fine.
As we move into stage 3, all eyes are on the 6th Invitational, and you guys are right on the cusp of qualifying. My question is, have you been focused too much about the odds? I know right now a 5th place finish will mean you'll probably get in, but it'll be up in the air. 4th place or better should more or less lock you down. So is that something you're focused on day to day, or are you trying to put that in the background and focus on each game as it comes up?
Invite being in our favor has definitely been a distraction. However, I'd say the guys are really keen on basically having a good season, a good stage 3 with this new roster and implementing Tommy into the system.
I think the constant pressure and the constant fear of wanting to succeed and wanting to qualify for the Invitational is something that's in the back of every player's mind, not just the players on our team. Something that we're trying to overcome right now, because yes, it is something that is like, okay, we're right there, guys. Let's make sure we don't choke. Let's make sure we grab it and actually finish what we set out to do. But I think what that really comes with is actually pushing that stuff in the back of our head, focusing more on, okay, let's take it game by game. Let's fix our mistakes. Let's make sure we're good. Rather than saying like, oh my God, like we're so close, like we could do it, we could do it, we could do it. That's just causing more pressure, more unneeded stress, and it's not going to be beneficial in the long run.
The invite points and making it to the major a little bit too much, and kind of lost our focus on the game to game. So for stage 3, we're going back to the game to game and just kind of putting everything else in the back of our heads. Basically taking it one step at a time. If we win, we make it.
And my last question, Tommy, this one's just for you. On September 15th, week 2, we've got XSET versus Mirage. Is there anything you're looking forward to with that game? Obviously, it's your old team versus your new one. And is there anybody particularly that you're looking to take down on that roster?
See, my roles are different now than I was on XSET, so I'm pretty much more like comfortable in my roles now. But obviously that game will be a good game, and a lot of people will be watching that game because of the history. On September 15th, obviously a lot of people are looking forward to my game versus XSET or Mirage versus XSET, but I'm not really looking at it as a specific day. I'm really looking forward to the season as a game by game, day by day type situation.